You think a plane crash means instant death? But what if I told you most people actually survive? Yeah, the real odds might completely change how you feel about flying. Picture this. You're 35,000 feet in the air. Everything's normal. Then suddenly, something goes wrong. The plane shakes. People freeze. That one thought hits you. Is this it? Because in movies, a plane crash is always the end. Fire, explosion, no survivors. But here's the part no one tells you. Real life doesn't work like that. And the truth? It's way more surprising. And honestly, a little unsettling. Let's start with the number everyone wants to know. What are your chances of surviving a plane crash? Not flying, not turbulence, an actual crash. Ready? Around 95% of people survive aviation accidents. Yeah, read that again. Most people walk away. But wait, that doesn't mean it's safe in the way you think, because that number hides something important. Not all crashes are the same. And this is where things get real. Because surviving a crash has almost nothing to do with luck. It depends on how the plane crashes. There are two types you need to know. 1. The survivable crash. This is the kind you never hear about. Hard landings, runway overruns, controlled emergency landings. Messy? Yes. Terrifying? Absolutely. But survivable. In fact, this is where most of that 95% comes from. 2. The catastrophic crash. This is what movies show you. Mid-air explosions, high-speed impacts. And yeah, in these cases, survival drops fast. But here's the twist. These crashes are extremely rare. Like, incredibly rare. So if most crashes are survivable, why do some people still not make it out? This next part might surprise you. It often comes down to seconds. Not the crash itself, but what happens right after. There's something called the 90-second rule. When a plane stops, you have about a minute and a half to get out before things become deadly. Fire, smoke, panic. This is where survival is decided. And here's the crazy part. Most people don't fail because they can't escape. They fail because they hesitate. They grab their bags. They freeze. They look around waiting for instructions. Meanwhile, seconds are disappearing. So what actually increases your chances of surviving? There are a few small things that make a massive difference. First, your seat matters. Statistically, seats near the back of the plane have slightly higher survival rates. Not always, but enough to notice a pattern. Second, count the rows to the nearest exit. Sounds simple, right? But imagine this. The cabin fills with smoke. You can't see anything. If you already know it's 10 rows forward, you just saved your life. Third, listen to the safety briefing. Yeah, I know, nobody does. But those instructions? They're not random. They're based on real crashes, real survivors. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you actually paid attention to that? Now here's where things get uncomfortable. Because survival isn't just physical, it's mental. People who survive often do one thing differently. They assume something will go wrong. Not in a paranoid way, but in a prepared way. They stay alert. They notice exits. They think ahead. While everyone else is on autopilot, they're ready. So here's the twist nobody talks about. Flying is still one of the safest ways to travel. By far. You're way more at risk driving to the airport than being on the plane itself. But if a crash does happen, your survival isn't random. It's not fate. It's a mix of awareness, speed, and tiny decisions you make in seconds. Which means the difference between life and death might be something as small as not grabbing your carry-on. Let that sink in.